Bank of Canada this week. Will it hold or lower the rate? And what does that mean for those that are tightening their budgets at home? Joining us now to break it all down is real estate broker Peggy Hill. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Rates unchanged. What does that mean, Peggy, for the summer market?
A little bit of a lunchbox letdown, I'm not going to lie. However, Sarah, nobody was expecting the rates to come down any further. Inflation seems to be on the upper end of where they like it, and jobs are solid. So nobody was expecting a rate cut this time around. They were expecting a hold, and we got a hold. So something good to be said about that.
Let's talk about some words that came from Premier Doug Ford for the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem, saying it's never been more important to stimulate growth. So what would you say the message is for those that are either buying or selling?
Well, even if the Bank of Canada had cut on Wednesday, so I mean, they're only limited to what they can actually play with. So the variable rate would have come down. It wouldn't have done anything for 5-year fixed, which is what most people are getting for their mortgages. So I think the Bank of Canada has less and less of an impact on the housing market. And quite frankly, when they're worried about keeping inflation down, why would they start messing around with trying to raise the price of houses? They don't want to do that.
Yeah. When we talk about economic uncertainty, and we often do you think that benefits a seller or even the buyer?
So we are, I hate to make this announcement, but in first time in 20 plus years in a buyer's market, and I think the sellers are having a really tough time accepting it. It's been a very, very, we haven't lived it in so long. I mean, people in the 70s and 80s will probably remember if they were trying to sell a house back then. But anything after that, we've been on this high of a seller's market. And now we find ourselves in a buyer's market. And to make things worse, buyers have never been here before. So they're so emboldened. They want to go in there and they want to, give you lowball offers all the time. So as a seller, I would say take a deep breath. This too shall pass. Mm-hmm. It's not always going to stay a buyer's market. However, it's a really tough pill to swallow when you're a seller right now.
Of course. We'll leave it there for today, but we'll reconvene in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, Peggy.
Thank you.
The Real Estate Spotlight is brought to you by the Peggy Hill team.